What's going on YouTube? In this new world guide, I'll be explaining how to play the game efficiently when you start the game this fall. I'll be going over questing tips to level faster, gear and weapon tips to build your character in the most effective way, farming and crafting tips to level your skills as you progress, and finally, simple PvP and PvE tips to get you started. Once you completed the combat tutorial, you can use the tips in this guide. Let's head into questing tips to level faster. When you begin the game, you will start in one of 4 starting zones: Monarch's Bluffs, Everfall, Windsward, or First Light. It is random on which zone you will spawn in, but you can choose to start in another zone if you'd like. But you're going to have to run there, resulting in wasted time in my opinion. Either you just quest in whatever zone you start in, or you create a new character in hopes you spawn in the area you want. The best starting zone in my opinion are in this order: Windsward, Everfall, First Light, and Monarch's Bluffs. Windsward is in the center of the map, making it a great spot for a central bank, as well as plenty of basic resources, but we will get into that later. Everfall is rather similar to Windsward, but what I like about this zone is that the faction quests are closer together than Windsward's faction quests. Lastly, I want to mention that these last 2 zones aren't bad, but starting in them isn't the best in terms of location. This is important due to your territory standing within each zone. As you level in your desired zone, you will gain passive bonuses that help you progress. It is important to choose the right bonuses as you can't change them later on, so whatever you pick now will be permanent. I recommend you choose XP increase, storage capacity increase, and territory standing increase at the start. This will allow you to level not just yourself faster, but your territory standing faster as well, increasing the rate at which you get bonuses. If you think you have enough capacity in your storage, trust me, it will fill up quickly. The other bonuses can be helpful for later on as well. I do believe you receive diminishing returns on selecting the same bonuses, so keep this in mind, as you will want to change up what bonuses to choose. So it will be important when you get to higher levels to select bonuses that fit in your current and future playstyle. You can simply determine this by location and resources in your area. Since most materials are zone specific, meaning you can only find specific materials in their respective zones. Upon arriving at your first settlement, you should complete the quest in the town, then head over to the town project board and grab all the quests available to you. You can cancel the ones you don't wish to do, because in my opinion, some of them are a waste of your time. Others can be completed over an extended period of time while you quest. When you reach level 10, you can start the quest to decide what faction to choose. I will leave this decision upon yourself, as this is purely personal preference. From here, I recommend you grab all the quests. However, if you don't wish to PvP, don't select the bottom 3 quests. Being flagged does give you an XP bonus, which is why I recommend being flagged while you quest. I know it can be uneasy, but it can give you that boost you're looking for to get to higher levels. Make sure you fill your quest log full of every quest in the settlement before heading out, so you can complete them in one trip. This includes your faction quest and town project quest. As for the main story, I will let you decide when to complete this, as this quest line will make you travel a lot, and along with getting increasingly more difficult as you progress through it. Next, I will be going over gear and weapon tips to build your character in the most effective way. I will briefly go over this topic because I would like to make a dedicated video to explain everything in more detail. I will simply go over how you should be gearing your character as you level. You'll want to start the game with your favorite 2 weapons as soon as possible, as this will get you the most mastery. Mastery is a big determining factor in DPS and will help you defeat your foes much quicker. In my opinion, go based off what you're having the most fun with. This leads me to my next point on how you should gear your character. You will want to focus on the weapon first because your equip load will determine your playstyle. Your equip load is determined by your gear you're wearing. For example, if you wanted to play like a mage, you probably want light armor to be able to roll and get 20% to damage and healing. On the other hand, if you want to be a warrior-like build, you'll probably want medium or heavy equip load. You will give up the roll for increased armor and longer crowd control debuffs. As you level, I highly encourage that you experiment with each weapon so you find out your favorite weapon early. Remember, the gear you have as you level will more than likely get replaced, so try not to get too attached to anything. You should be more focused on finding the playstyle that fits you and reaching the max mastery in your favorite weapons. Now we'll be going over farming and crafting tips to level your skills faster. As soon as you load into the game and complete the first few quests, you'll be given the task to craft your first tool. From here, I recommend that you gather all the material to craft the rest except for the fishing pole, as there is no hemp in the starting zones to my knowledge. This is my biggest tip of all. Gather everything you possibly can. I say this because you will want to load up on materials to store into your settlement. Crafting is a major part of this game, and you won't be able to ignore it, so you'll want to have the materials on hand when you need them, instead of running out of materials and have to go find them in their respective zones. Once you make it into your first settlement, you should look quickly to replace your tools with iron tools, as this will speed up your gathering process. Be looking to switch your tools at about every 10 levels, as there will be a new set of tools that will be increasingly better each time. In my opinion, you should make it a goal to get all your gathering skills except for fishing up to 30 by the time you completed all the quests in your first zone. This ensures that you will be able to gather the next tier of materials, and this idea should carry on with you to higher levels because materials are split into tiers that are gated by your current gathering level. The town project board will occasionally have you complete a task that will inherently level your skills. These quests should be given the highest priority to earn experience on both you and your skills. While questing, you should look in crates for refining agents. These are very important to the leveling process and should be saved until you're ready to level, or simply need more room in your storage shed by refining materials. I encourage you to keep your skills in parallel with your current level. I know it's difficult, time consuming, but you don't want to go back to low level zones to level your gathering and refining to catch up your crafting skills. This will also allow you to have access to your current level's craftable items, and some of them can really be handy at higher levels like star metal arrows, which multiply your damage by 1.15. Not to mention the access to gems and food buffs that you can apply to your character could be the edge you need over your opponents in PvP or PvE. Since the nodes stay in the same location, this allows for you to set up reliable farming routes that can get you large amounts of specific materials. If you want to know where any resource is on the map, I encourage you to use newworldfans.com. I will put the link in the description. This site has tons of information. Once you get here, select the map at the top, hide all resources, and select the resource you wish to see. Finally, I will briefly go over simple PvP and PvE tips to get you started. Like gear and weapons, I would like to give you dedicated videos to watch on these topics since I found them the most interesting. For PvE, most of it's pretty straightforward, except for some of the expeditions or arenas. What some people don't realize is that this game handles their expeditions, aka dungeons, differently than most games. You will have to create tuning orbs in order to enter expeditions. These tuning orbs are consumed upon entering, meaning you have a total of 5 runs with each person using their orbs, or until you run out of orbs. But there is a catch to making these orbs. It's time gated, meaning there is a cooldown associated with tuning orbs. You can only make 1 per day if I'm not mistaken. I will link a guy from Sephir who goes into deep detail about how the tuning orbs work. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm heavily focused on PvP, but I will still make expedition and arena guides. Now to my favorite topic, PvP. I can spend all day talking about this, but I want to get the essential tips out there before making dedicated PvP videos. The most important tip I can give to you is get your faction armor as quickly as possible. You have such a greater edge over your opponent that even if they are more skilled than you, you can outgear them so you can kill them with ease, thus leading to my next point of attributes. Now this is where things get interesting, because using my logic, you can build your character in the best possible way, not just for PvP, but for PvE as well. When you get your faction gear, you will notice it has Constitution plus another stat. The extra Constitution is huge. This will allow you to put points into damage modifying stats rather than Constitution. This same logic can be used on any gear, but it is most effective at max level. I will explain why in a future video, but for now, subscribe to my channel for future content. Also, I encourage you to debate with me and others about any topics you did or didn't agree with in the comment section or my Twitch channel. The link will be in the description below.